I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cougar Sports Network for the last time of 2025. We have a non-conference matchup inside Geisman Gymnasium today between the visiting Anderson University and your Concordia Chicago Cougars. I'm Kayla McLeod. Thanks so much for spending New Year's Eve with us. Tip-off underway, and the Cougars come away with it. Getting started right away, Yone Mero drives in, but has that one poked away. A familiar lineup here for the Cougars. We've seen this starting lineup many times so far this season. Abby Dykstra, Abby Kulig, Grace King, Yone Mero, and Sophia Pedraza. As that's going to send things back down in the other direction for the Cougars. So less than a minute in play so far and scoreless through 2 possessions. But taking a look at this starting lineup for Anderson, as Yone Mero finds some space, looks for the cut, and Kulig able to secure the first points. A great drive and no-look pass from Yone Mero, and the Cougars are on the board first. A deep 3 here from Smith, no good. Kulig with the rebound. As I was mentioning previously, starting lineup for Anderson: Lauren Smith, Sydney Suratoa, Paige Williamson, Izzy Davis, and Victoria Datra. Again, some familiar names in the starting lineup for Anderson, as Kulig has her hand at a 3, front iron, no good. Rebound batted around a little bit, but into the hands of Davis. Davis coming down quickly, she feeds it back outside, another 3 attempt, no good, back iron. Dykstra pulls the rebound, but ties that ball up. Jump ball in favor of Anderson. Great hustle play there from Izzy Davis to get her hand on that ball and keep possession on the opposite end of the floor. Davis up top, swings it around to Williamson. Williamson over to Smith. Corner look here. Baseline drive, floater up and good for Sirota, excuse me. First points on the board for the Ravens. Tie ball game. Dykstra back over to Yone Mero. Cougars loading the left side of the floor here. Yone Mero takes that screen loosely, cuts inside, feeds Kulig at the elbow. Elbow shot for Kulig, no good. Rebound into the hands of the Ravens. Corner look now for Williamson, no good. Back and forth so far here today. These two teams coming into today pretty evenly matched up. Concordia sitting with an overall record of 4-6 so far on the season. Anderson also sitting with 4-6 record. Dykstra now baseline drive, guarded tightly by the Ravens. Shot clock winding down. Kulig, another 3. Front iron once again. Ravens coming off of a game just yesterday against Illinois College. Offensive rebound there for Williamson. So Ravens still pretty warm after yesterday's game. They had a nice 79-73 win over Illinois College, and then obviously facing the Cougars here today. Meanwhile, the Cougars, this is their first game back after their Christmas break. Their last game played was on December 17th. They were able to take down Judson 71-61, but this is their first game back as a nice little up and in there. No good for Yone Mero. Ravens officially with the lead. Another look here for Williamson. No good. Kulig with the rebound. These two teams, not a lot of history. Only one matchup, and that came last season. First matchup against these two programs. The Ravens took the 85-49 win, so the Cougars, much different team as that one is blocked. Big time by Smith. Yone Mero looked for the step back mid-range jumper and instead met with some stuffing as the look here for Smith, no good. Offensive board into the hands of Datra. Another chance here for Davis, no good. Back iron. Dykstra able to come away with the rebound. Dykstra looking for Pedraza. Pedraza jumping to catch it, just a little too short on it. And that's going to bring the first wave of subs in for both teams. Checking in for the Cougars is number 23, Nevaeh Jackson. As 3 Ravens check out as well. Now into the game for Anderson, number 32, Bella Larison. Number 24, Kylie Hendrickson. And number 30, Ashley Pate. As our first foul of the game has been called. It's going to be called against Jackson. So that's going to put a fresh 20 on the shot clock for the Ravens. The Cougars, they've been a little cold as of lately. They're 0 for 5 from the field. Haven't scored in almost 4 minutes now, as Lindley Southern now checking in for the Cougars. Looks to provide a little bit of a spark, as well as Kira Holiday checking in for Sophia Pedraza. So looking to get some fresh legs, some fresh arms in, and see if they can find a little bit of momentum here, as that feed up top for Larison. Cut back around. Corner look back at Larison. Up top, here's Hoffman. Feeds it back over. Hoffman now. Corner look here. No good. Off the back iron and falls anyway. Looked like it might have bounced a little high, but the refs did not call it. I thought it might have hit that out of play area, but still a good 3. The first 3 of the day here. And the Cougars able to respond and break their scoring drought of 4 minutes now. 6-4 in favor of Anderson, as this one is almost poked away. But a 10-second backcourt violation. So Yone Mera doesn't pick up the steal, but forces the 10-second violation. And sometimes those violations are a little bit more important than a steal. In that situation, you kind of steal some momentum. You show that you're playing tough defense and you're able to force something a little bit better than a steal. You can pick up a steal anywhere on the floor, but you really have to play tight defense in only half the court in order to cause one of those turnovers. So a big feature for the Cougars early on, and now they have an opportunity here as a little step through from Yone Mera, up and no good, just in and out. Rebound into the hands of Hoffman. Yone Mera struggling a little bit so far today, not something that we see typically out of this freshman. She's 0 for 4 so far. As the feed over here for Larison, no good. Offensive rebound back to Larison, and she's able to put it up and in for 2. Bella Larison getting some work done for the Ravens. Holiday up top, 10 on the shot clock. Hands it off to Southern. Back over to Yone Mera, 5 on the shot clock. She throws one up, no good, back iron. Offensive board to Southern. Fresh 20 on the shot clock, but Jackson's going to have her hand at a 3. No good. Rebound into the hands of Larison. Corner look now. High ball. Back iron. No good. They're going to say that one bounced out of play. So that's going to bring the first stoppage of the day. Media timeout. 8-4 here in favor of Anderson. It's been a quiet first half of this first quarter. Cougars 1 for 10 from the field at the moment. Again, not something, 1 for their last 10. 2 for 12 overall. Not something that you typically see out of this CUC squad. They're usually able to get something going when push comes to shove. Again, it's been a low-scoring game so far. They're trailing by 4. And on the other side of things, the Ravens, they're 4 for 14 as well. So both shooting roughly about the same. And that's bringing us to where we are right now. But this Anderson squad, as I mentioned earlier, they downed Concordia last season 85-49. So a very dominant performance. And this is just a strong, dominant team overall. Anderson, right around this time last year, this is pretty similar to where they were at record-wise. But last season, they lost in the HCAC semifinals, and they've been to that tournament for the last 5 consecutive years. So this is a very competitive team. They're always battling in their conference, and they've got a bunch of players that are putting up big numbers across the conference as well. Izzy Davis, I mentioned her a little bit earlier. She's the leading scorer for Anderson and ranks as much as first in the HCAC in steals and points, and 3-point percentage, third in 3 points per game, sixth in points per game. Victoria Deitras is, again, first in the HCAC in field goal percentage, second in offensive rebounds, third in blocks. So this Anderson team really has a lot of diverse players that can score and play defense, and it's showing up in their 5 consecutive appearances to the conference tournament, as that one is poked away by Davis. Ten on the shot clock for the Cougars. Jackson up top, guarded by Davis, crosses over, a little floater, no good, in and out, rebounded to Larison. Davis coming down the floor now, feeds it over, corner look for Sheets. Baseline drive rejected by a pack of Cougars, and they're gonna force her out of bounds. Grace King and Nevaeh Jackson playing some tight defense on Katie Sheets, and she has nowhere to go but out of bounds, forcing a turnover there. Second turnover for the Ravens so far. Hannah Lopez recently checking into the game for the Cougars, looking to get some offensive juice flowing for the Cougars. Southern on the wing, kicks over to Jackson, looks to feed Kulig inside, hesitates, feeds it in after she's double-teamed. A tough look here, 3 on the shot clock. Southern has to put it up, and no good, but the ball lands into the hands of Ashley Pate. Davis coming down the floor quickly, has that one poked away by Holiday. In the process of Davis trying to regain control, they tie up the ball, and that's going to send things down for the Cougars. 2:21 to play in the first quarter. Substitutions coming in on both sides. It's been a scoreless game for just over 2 minutes now, still sitting 8-4 in favor of Anderson. Kulig up top, swings it over to Jackson. Jackson finds her way, splits the defenders up, and no good. Rebound into the hands of Sheets. Davis coming down the floor quickly. She gets past Holiday, feeds it down low. Nice little jump stop there, but it's going to be rejected. Gets her own rebound and back up and in. Victoria Deitra, a nice use of a jump stop there. Let the defenders fly by. Wide open look for Jackson. Front iron, no good. Rebound into the hands of Deitra. Foul called on Yone Mera as Smith checks back in for Anderson. Cougars needing to translate some defense into offense. 0 for 7 from their last 7 attempts in the field. As the look down low rejected by Lopez into the hands of Jackson. Jackson coming down the floor quickly. Little in and out. Thought about pulling up instead, kicks back out. Hannah Lopez thought about the corner 3, feeds it high post look for Kulig. Kulig looks to feed it down low, back to Lopez. Lopez kicks out to Holiday, back up top. Jackson a look for 3, under 10 on the shot clock. She looks to drive in, has it rejected, feeds it back out to Holiday. Another 3 attempt for Kulig, front iron. Abby Kulig 0 for 3 from deep, all off the front of the rim. Corner look here for Smith, feeds it back up top, back to Smith in the corner. The bucket and a foul for Presley Copper. Count it, and the Ravens are running away here. A 6-0 run for Anderson over the last just about 4 minutes, and a 12-2 run for the majority of this quarter. Copper heading to the free throw line for the first time tonight. 3 for 11 from the charity stripe this season. shooting just about 27%. But it does look like we are going to see a video review on this foul, something that is newly being implemented here at Concordia Chicago. It's become going to be a NAC standard as we enter next season. This year it is optional, but with CUC opting in, they're going to take a look at this to make sure. I believe they just have to check if it's assigned to the correct player or if they want to upgrade it to an intentional or a flagrant foul. I believe those are the only two things that the officials could be checking for right now. 40.6 seconds remaining on the scoreboard in this first quarter. Cougars, very uncharacteristic for them to be this cold from the field. Abby Kulig, 1 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from deep. And that's something that's very interesting. It's not too often that you see Kulig taking those three-pointers. Coming into today's game, she was 0 for 1 from the three-point line, and she's already taken 3 attempts today. As the officials are still looking at this, and we get our final ruling. So Copper is heading to the free throw line. So it appears the basket counts. I do not see the foul being changed at all. So foul called on Nevaeh Jackson is going to put Presley Copper at the free throw line, attempting for the three-point play. Back iron, no good for Copper. As that one misses. Shot clock officially off in the quarter. Corner look for Davis. Double teamed by the Cougars. And they're going to say she stepped out of bounds. So the double team from CUC doing some great things so far in this quarter. The defense from the Cougars has been pretty strong. It's just not translating to some offensive production. They've already forced 4 turnovers against Anderson. So 18 seconds on the shot clock. On the game clock for this quarter. Cougars have a chance to take the last shot in this quarter. Inbound to Yone Mero. She gets a great step on Davis. Feeds it up to Dykstra. Dykstra for 3. No good. Into the hands of Grace King. Still have a chance here. Dykstra back out on the wing. Thought about pulling, instead drives in. She splits the defenders up and in and out. No good. Davis with the rebound. And that's going to do it for quarter number 1. Anderson running away in the last half of this quarter. A 6-0 run to close the quarter. And that's going to put them ahead of CUC 12-4. We're going to take a quick break right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, second quarter getting ready to get started. Anderson will start the quarter with the ball. They lead 12-4. Cougars struggling to get going in that first quarter. 0 for 8 from deep as that three, no good, back iron. Batting around a little bit. Williamson had her chance at it. Still no possession on the ball. They're going to call a jump ball. I'm not quite sure how they called the jump ball. I don't think anybody ever had more than 2 fingers on it. But either way, it's going to go down with the Cougars. CUC, as I was saying, 0 for 8 from 3. 2 for 20 from the field as the turnover there gives the ball right into the hands of Anderson. Smith misses the layup, but another tie-up, and that's going to give possession to Anderson. Looks like they're going to say that Kira Holiday had the ball, stepped out of bounds. Inbound up high to Davis. Corner look here. Met by a double team. Davis from 3. No good. Not sure if somebody got a hand on it as that one is stripped away. And the ball is just batting around a little bit. So that ball off the backboard from Davis's shot into the hands of Smith, I believe, and then had that stripped away before the layup could even get in motion, and then just kind of batted around a little bit. But either way, the Cougars end up with the ball. Yone Mara still looking for her first points of the day. Dykstra takes the baseline drive, kicks out, looks for Holiday, but instead has that broken up by Sirota. Great defense from the senior guard. Just getting a hand on that to break up the pass. Dykstra inbounding the ball here on the near side. Looks for the backdoor cut. Instead tries to feed it up high for Holiday. Intercepted by Izzy Davis. Davis finds Smith running low. Smith kicks it back out. Sirota back over to Davis. Davis has her chance at 3. No good, in and out. Rebound right into the hands of Williamson. Great offensive board there, but that ball stripped right out of the hands of Davis by Jocelyn Chamas. Yone Mara here on the near side. Looks for the no-look pass to Holiday. Holiday double-teamed, can't quite hold on to it. Sirota cutting down. The corner look, no good, batted around. And they're going to call Grace King for the foul. A good look from Paige Williamson. Just a little too much juice on it and able to draw the foul on the rebound. So baseline inbound for Anderson. Sirota inbounding it. High look for Datra. Kicks back out. Up top here, Sirota cutting in, and they're going to call another foul here. I believe they're going to confer to see. Looks like Lindley Southern called for the foul. Excuse me, Ayone Mara called for the foul, so that's going to be her second foul of the game. Fresh 20 on the shot clock once again. Sirota inbounding. Finds Datra right away. A little hook shot up and in. Victoria Datra getting some work done for the Ravens. Pedraza here on the near side. Feeds it up top to Holiday. Holiday plenty of space. Kicks it over to Southern. Back to Jackson. Jackson up top to Pedraza. A cutting. Holiday has that one almost lost. Jackson's pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound into the hands of Datra. Ravens look to feed it ahead. Davis. Up top to Sirota. Back over to Davis. Kicks it over. Here's Williamson. Sirota looks. Corner look for Lauren Smith. Back iron, no good, but an off-ball foul. And they're going to get Grace King for the foul. King wound up on the ground. But she picks up her second foul. Kulig checking back in for the Cougars. Pate checking back in for the Ravens. Datra back over to Davis. taking the drive, the kick out. Sirota up top, drives in, has some space, off-balance shot, off the backboard, and good for 2. Sydney Sirota looks for the foul call, but played through contact and was able to add some points on the board for the Ravens. Jackson cutting back in, high off the glass, no good. Offensive board for Kulig, and she's going to get fouled in the process. So that's going to send Abby Kulig to the free throw line for the Cougars. Cougars still scoreless in this second quarter. Kulig looking to put the first points on the board in the quarter for CUC, and she does. Kulig shooting just about 50% from the charity stripe so far this season. Free throw number 2 is good. Brings this into a 10-point deficit for CUC. Cougars in their full court press here. Puts some pressure on. Here's Davis. Kicks back over to Pate. Back up top to Davis. High posted look. Corner look for Pate. She's going to take a 3. No good. Batted around. I think it hit 3 or 4 players before finally rolling out of bounds, but it's going to be Cougar ball. As Kylie Hendrickson checks back in for the Ravens. Jackson inbounding to Holiday. Some light full court pressure from the Ravens here. Jackson has that one poked away by Smith. Good defense. Smith up and in for 2. Lauren Smith with a nice little pickpocket and score. Holiday pitching ahead to Pedraza. Cutting back inside. Met by a strong line of defense from Anderson. Outside look for Southern. Back up top to Holiday. 10 on the shot clock. Kicks back out. Pedraza. A little mid-range floater. No good. Strong rebound from Kulig. Jackson inside the paint has that one deflected right into the hands of Pedraza. 15 on the shot clock now. Cougars slow things down. Under 10 on the shot clock. Pedraza directing traffic here. Hands it off to Jackson. Jackson a little step back. Trying to cut her way through the defender. High off the glass, no good. Kulig trying to get the rebound, batting around, and she's going to get called for the foul, but goes down hard. I think just tweaked her ankle either on the landing or on the release. Cougars struggling from the field so far today. Nevaeh Jackson 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 2 from deep. Can't quite get anything to fall at the moment. Some light full court pressure here. Sophia Pedraza guarding Sydney Sirota tightly. High post to look for Datra. Finds the cut and basket for Hendrickson. 20-6 the score now. Ravens really taken away with this. Kulig looks for the cutting Pedraza. Pedraza met with some contact. She winds up on the ground, but the Ravens end up with the ball. Little give and go, back and forth. Extra pass and no good for Larison. Little 3-on-1 action there, and the Ravens just sharing the wealth. Dykstra on the far side. Kicks it back up to Kulig. Kulig finds Lopez. Lopez back to Pedraza. Up top for Dykstra, under 10 on the shot clock. High post look for Kulig, looks for the cut. Has that one broken up by Sirota. Sydney Sirota read that really well and just kept one hand in the passing lane the entire time. Didn't let that backdoor cut go easily. As that one is batted around, ends up into the hands of Kulig. Pate tried to direct that one as Williamson goes down pretty hard. Looked like a no-contact slip, but she's up and moving. High off the glass, Pedraza, she's going to go down and find her way to the free throw line. They're going to get Sirota on the foul. And that's going to send things to the first immediate timeout of this quarter, Cougars, 3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes. They've been on a scoring drought of nearly 3 minutes. Only points so far this quarter come from the charity stripe, and when we get back, Sofia Pedraza heading to the free throw line herself for 2. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Sofia Pedraza's first free throw, no good. Pedraza this season shooting just about 69%, as the Cougars are struggling to score here in River Forest. 20-7 now the score. Full court pressure from CUC. The wide open down low look as the hook shot from Copper, no good. Cougars had that full court press, but left a wide open Hendrickson. A little bit risky, but worked out in CUC's favor. A turnover here, and the Cougars have an opportunity to flip things around. Yone Mera back in. Has the ball in the near side wing, flips it over to Lopez. Lopez looked to pass over to Pedraza. Pedraza reached for it and then pulled back thinking that it was deflected, but they're going to say that that was not touched by the Ravens at all, so a turnover for the Cougars. Their 4th turnover in just about 3.5 minutes. Davis here, double teamed. Good ball movement from the Ravens. The look down low for Datra. Misses that, back and forth. Pedraza comes away with it. Pedraza coming down quickly, 1-on-4, and Sofia Pedraza finds a way to score. A much-needed bucket for the Cougars, their first field goal of the quarter. As the down low look for Datra kicks back out, and the 3 is good for Julia Hoffman. First 3 of the day. Yone Mera here, over to Lopez. Corner look for Pedraza. Finds Chalmers cutting in motion, off balance look, and it's no good. Chalmers was, I think, anticipating a defender to be there, but there wasn't one, so she was kind of shying away from the shot itself, and instead just put that one really off balance and high off the glass. 21 on the shot clock here for the Ravens. Sirota to inbound. Pitches it high for Davis. High post look for Copper. Looks to feed it over. She finds it into the hands of Datra. Datra's shot no good. Rebound to Grace King. Pedraza over to Yone Mera. Yone Mera still chasing her first points of the day. Little spin move up and in, and no good. And no Cougars around for the rebound, so the ball floating around into the hands of Sirota. Davis over into the corner for Hoffman. Back and forth here, and They're going to call an over and back on the Ravens. Yone Mera chasing that ball down. Does not get a hand on it, so a turnover for Anderson. 2:27 to play in the half. Substitutions coming in for Anderson. Yone Mera guarded by Smith. Feeds it out to Chalmers. Chalmers thought about a three. Under 10 on the shot clock now. Back out to Yone Mera. She calls for a screen. She takes it with some space. Yone Mera's three is good! Yone Mera coming in clutch when need be. Picks up her first points off of a three. Down low look. That's going to be poked away by Lindley Southern. Great hands here. Opportunity. Yone Mera up and in for two. Yone Mera starts the game a little bit cold and heating up when needed. Look here for Smith. Retaliation three. No good, in and out. Rebound almost hits Grace King into the hands of Yone Mera, who's run down by Datra. .136 to play in the half. CUC slowly starting to climb their way right back into this. Single-digit deficit now. Yone Mera bringing the ball down the floor. Cougars heavy on the left side of the court. Yone Mera takes the screen, looks for the slip, instead finds some space inside. Off balance, up and in. One Cougar in the mix of five Ravens, and somehow Grace King knocked that ball out of bounds. Sirota and Smith here for the Ravens. Full court pressure from CUC. Davis finding some space. Cuts inside all the way to the hoop. No good. Ball poked away by Southern into the hands of Sirota. Sirota rejected by the Cougars. A long three there from Davis. No good, into the hands of Southern. Anderson also struggling from deep. 1 for 18 from the three-point line as Grace King's tough shot, no good. She goes down, looks for the foul call, doesn't get it. Smith moving fast. Pedraza looks to swat it. And they're going to call Sophia Pedraza for the foul, but Lauren Smith's basket is no good. So we're going to see the senior heading to the charity stripe for two. .5 seconds remaining in this half. Lauren Smith shooting just about 67% from the charity stripe this season. 14 for 21 coming into today's game. As she makes her first free throw. Second free throw also good. Extends this to a 26-14 lead for the Ravens. Cougars found themselves in a shooting slump in the first quarter. Ravens finding themselves in a shooting slump here in the second quarter. That one just misses the hands of Chalmers for a turnover. But as I was saying, the Ravens 0 for 4 from their last 4 attempts. They've had no field goals in the last nearly 3 minutes now. Only points coming off of those free throws there. About a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, but a wide open layup for Hendrickson. Puts 2 on the board and loses the shot clock for the half. Cougars have a chance here. Yone Mera slowing things down, bringing the ball up top. Takes the loose screen from Southern. Southern now kicks it out to King. 6 on the clock. Grace King's three. You betcha! Grace King, welcome to the three-point party. Both teams struggling to get some points up, but when those droughts start appearing, it seems like the 3 points start falling. Grace King, 5 points in the first half. She's tied with Yone Mera as a leader for CUC. Low-scoring game here. Taking a look at Anderson. They've got a handful all within the same range. Smith, 4 points. Hendrickson, 4 points. Sirota, 4 points. and Datra 4 points. So a 10-point lead for Anderson as we head to halftime. Don't go anywhere. Second half action coming up on the Cougar Sports Network.
For lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today. Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
I do have a regular tutor. I come to see him every Friday. This is something I actually started doing here at Concordia. I never really sought tutoring before.
As the Dean of Students, I work closely with our students here, all the way from orientation through to graduation in a variety of capacities. We have CU Learn up on the second floor of the Christopher Center, which is a great space with some fantastic resources for our students.
This is more of a workspace, a hands-on place. We have small cubicles you can work in that have video screens so you can work on a presentation. You can work with your tutors for content areas.
Here at CU Learn, I tutor the natural sciences. For anyone who wants to become a student tutor, it will definitely expand and cement your understanding of the information you already know.
We were friends first, and once she got a job as a tutor, I was like, perfect, I know a tutor. I can go to her for help whenever I need it. I've received help studying and help with writing.
Being a tutor has actually helped me. I think it's kind of shown me where my strengths and weaknesses lie. Kind of complement each other in that sense so we can help each other out.
We've got subject tutors for nearly every subject up there, as well as our writing center. Our writing center is a great resource.
When I assign papers to class, I encourage every student to make sure eyes other than theirs read through their paper. The writing center is the first option. I always encourage students to make use of those resources.
Students can actually email their papers to the writing center and get feedback. All of our services are both offered in person in the CU Learn space as well as virtual appointments. Students can access Navigate. Navigate allows students to access a large list of resources, kind of where to go for different needs that they might have on campus. The core values of Christian faith, the individual, excellence, integrity, and service. I see CU Learn living those out every day.
All of your academic supports are concentrated in one location. If you need it, we should be able to help you here.
Everyone's goal in college is to succeed, right? To learn. CU Learn's been great support to my students.
It's never a waste to better your education or to strengthen your skills or skills you may not have. It's always good to learn a bit more and never to just sit back and not do anything.
The space itself, it's a really nice study space, large windows, a lot of natural light, a good quiet environment to work.
It's actually helped me learn a lot. Like even these classes that I've taken before, it's definitely enhanced my learning. So it's fun, I keep learning.
Make sure you come in and try it. It'll feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. I felt more comfortable in my studies, completing anything necessary.
It's helped me become better, it's helped me hone those skills, and it's helped me make sure that my writing and my other academic areas are as strong as they can be.
Hi, I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane.
So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall, so the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there.
Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
can't sleep here, Charlie.
Become a CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces: a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Down through the ages, God has called and equipped people to make a real difference in the lives of others. To lead, to heal, to stand tall. For 160 years, Concordia University Chicago has been preparing the next generation of leaders with the wisdom, faith, and values to make an impact in the world, to share the gifts God gave them and answer the call to a life fulfilled by purpose and truth, to be living examples of what it means to live with Christ at the center as we serve others. Because at CUC, we don't run away from adversity, we go towards it. We don't shrink from our faith, we lead with it. We are teachers, caregivers, and musicians, scientists, pastors, and business leaders, unshakable pillars of strength and integrity who serve a cause greater than ourselves. And the world needs us now more than ever. Learn how a degree from Concordia University Chicago can help you be the pillar the world needs to stand for something greater. The only question is, are you ready to stand tall?
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, just under 2 minutes till the second half begins. Anderson leading CUC 27-17, and it has been an experience here today inside Geisman. It's been a little bit of an off game for both of these two teams. Concordia struggling to get their offense going early on. Their defense was really the highlight of that first quarter. They were picking up a lot of good defensive stops, forcing players out of bounds, forcing over and back violations, some backcourt violations, and they were doing a lot of those things on defense. It just wasn't translating into offense until we got to that second half of the second quarter. All of a sudden, they started finding their rhythm, their momentum, and a big-time three from Ione Mera picked up her first points of the game and really broke things open, had a nice layup to be able to continue that scoring, and then getting ready to close the half, Grace King able to knock down a big-time three for the Cougars to be able to close the half and get them back within 10 of the Ravens. But the Ravens on the flip side of it, struggling to score as well early on, especially compared to what they are used to. Izzy Davis struggling a little bit. She's normally their leading scorer. She's averaging 15.9 points per game, but here today, just struggling a touch, only 2 points. She's 1 for 7 from the field, but the Ravens only able to pick up 1 3-pointer so far in the game, and that came at the hands of Hoffman, able to drain a big-time 3 for them, and their offense has just been moving the majority of the game, but they fell into a little bit of a dry spell to close the second quarter, and that brings us to our 27-17 score as we head into the start of the second half. Looks like both starting lineups returning to the court as these two teams continue to battle. Anderson playing just yesterday in a much more typical game for the Ravens than what we're seeing out of them here today to start, but a corner 3, no good for Williamson, but gets her own offensive rebound and a nice fresh 20 on the shot clock. Lost control for a second was Sirota, and they're gonna call a jump ball going down in favor of CUC. Second half starting eerily similar to the first half here. Just a lot of chaos, a lot of the ball being poked out of hands, batting around. Nobody with some true control here. But Dykstra inbounding the ball. She finds Pedraza. Full court pressure from Anderson. Dykstra bringing the ball down the floor now. She's met with some traffic, able to get through to Pedraza. Kulig on the wing. Back up top to Yone Mera. Yone Mera started to come to life late in the second quarter. She finds some space for a mid-range pull-up jumper, and it's good. Yone Mera picks up the first points of the second half and makes this a single-digit deficit for CUC. Sirota up top, over to Williamson. Williamson has that one almost poked away. Smith here on the near side wing, no good. Rebound to Yone Mera. She pitches it ahead. Wide open look for Dykstra. Little off balance, but able to secure the layup. And the Cougars are starting to look more like themselves here. That one's poked away by Grace King, but can't quite hold on to it. So able to clean it up is Sirota, and the Ravens maintain possession here. Good defense from Yone Mera. Sirota kicks over to Williamson. Williamson thought about a deep 3. Back over to Sirota. Cutting down in the middle. She looks to get past. She's met by a brick wall of a Grace King as Yone Mera able to save that one. Sends it anywhere on the floor, and Kulig able to collect it. Yone Mera on the far side. Looks for the baseline drive. Instead, she gets stopped. Finds a way to get that pass to Kulig. Kulig in through, a little step through up, and no good. Rebound to Davis. Davis coming down the floor. A no-look pass over to Datra, who's able to put it up and in for 2. A nice dish and finish there. Makes this a 29-21 game inside Geisman Gymnasium, and the foul call against Lauren Smith. Last game of 2025 for both of these teams. Looking to end the year on a high note. Anderson picking up the 79-73 win over Illinois College just yesterday, looking to pick up back-to-back wins to end their 2025. The Cougars, they're on a 3-game win streak coming into today, looking to extend that to 4 to end 2025. As Yone Mera, she's met by a double team in the corner. She looks to be able to pitch that anywhere, and instead she finds the scorer's table and a turnover for the Cougars. 7:31 to play in the quarter. Some substitutions checked in for Anderson. Datra kicks it back out to Pate. Ashley Pate for 3, no good. Yone Mera with the rebound and takes a hand to the face from Sirota. Sirota's third foul here. King inbounding, finds Pedraza. Pedraza coming up on the far side of the floor. Kicks it ahead to Yone Mera, who's got plenty of space. A little mid-range jumper once again off the backboard. In case you were wondering, the bank is open on a holiday. Has that one high off the glass and in. The look down low rejected by Abby Dykstra, looking for the feed into Datra, but instead Dykstra jumping up and able to get a hand on it, deflecting it out of the way. 19 on the shot clock for the Ravens. Datra here, kicks it back out. Corner look for Sirota, no good, front iron. Almost into the hands of King, but Taylor Custer coming in quickly. She's able to just knock it out of bounds, but still sends things down with the Cougars as Davis checks back in for the Ravens. King finds Yone Mara. Full court pressure here from Anderson. Grace King bringing the ball down the floor. Hands it off to Pedraza. She's met by a double team and is able to draw the foul. Custer called for the foul on that one, her first of the game. Yone Mara quickly back to King. King up top. Yone Mara rejects the screen from Kulig. Finds some space for a step through, but she's going to get called for the travel. I believe she had the step through, but just a little bit of a stutter beforehand is what triggered that travel call. Davis pitches ahead to Custer. Davis here. Corner look for Pate. Can she pull three? No good, back iron. Yone Mara able to get it. She looks to pitch it ahead and instead slows things down a little bit. Met by a double team. Coming all the way down the floor. Looking for a release. Finds Abby Kulig at the top of the key. Kicks over to Abby Dykstra. Dykstra driving in. Met with a bunch of traffic, and they're going to call the offensive foul on Abby Dykstra. .556 remaining in the quarter. Some substitutions on both sides. (29-23) still in favor of Anderson. Anderson held this lead for the majority of the game. Cougars scoring first early on, held the lead for about a minute of today's contest. Davis with a little floater in the paint, and it's good. Nevaeh Jackson bringing the ball down the floor for the Cougars. Pitches ahead to Pedraza. Pedraza calling for a screen. Doesn't wait for it. Feeds it over to Kulig. Kulig, Dykstra. Cougars heavy on the near side of the floor. That pass almost broken up by Larison, but instead right back in the hands of Dykstra. Under 10 on the shot clock. Corner look. Grace King up to Pedraza. Pedraza, 4 on the shot clock. Dykstra over to Kulig. Kulig's got to shoot. No good, back iron. But a fight there for the rebound. Grace King diving on top of it. Ties up the ball with Bella Larison. And it is going to send things down for the Ravens. But a great hustle play there from Grace King. King, the sophomore out of Indiana. We've talked about her a lot on the Cougar Sports Network. A lot of heart and hustle. And diving onto a loose ball is one of those heart and hustle plays. As Yone Mara strips that ball out of the hands of Copper. She's coming down the floor, takes it to her opposite hand, can't get that one to fall. Smith bringing the ball down the floor, finds Davis on the wing. Davis rejected by Yone Mara. High post look for Copper, kicks it back out. Davis here, feeds it down low for Hendrickson, whose shot no good, but Hendrickson gets her own rebound and is fouled on the putback attempt. And that's going to bring up the first immediate timeout of the second half. 4:24 to play. Anderson leads 31-23. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, 4:24 remaining in the third quarter. 2 free throws on the docket for Hendrickson, and she's able to put one in. 4:20 remaining. Jackson bringing the ball down the floor for the Cougars. Hannah Lopez recently checked in. Kira Halliday recently checked in. Jackson on the far side wing, up top to Grace King. Lopez, back over to Yone Mera. 10 on the shot clock. Yone Mera finds some space inside, cuts that corner, no good on it. Jackson able to pull the rebound through some traffic. She goes back up, high off the glass, and it's good. Jackson goes down in the process, slow to get back up, but making her way back on defense. The corner look here for Williamson, back up top to Smith. Smith finds the high post to look for Copper, kicks back out. Williamson for 3, it's good. Paige Williamson drains a 3 and extends the Ravens' lead back out to 10. Yone Mera bringing the ball down the floor for the Cougars. She takes the screen from King, finds Lopez in the corner. Hannah Lopez's 3, no good, right into the hands of Grace King, who puts that one back up for 2. An inadvertent pass from Lopez, and back down to a single-digit lead as King attempts to steal that one, has that one poked away now by Holiday into the hands of Jackson. A great hustle play from King. Yone Mera, plenty of time for a 3. You betcha! Bingo, bango, bongo. Yone Mera starting to heat up, and that's going to force a timeout from Anderson. The Cougars cut this thing down to 5 points. This timeout is going to trigger the immediate timeout here in the third quarter. But oh my goodness, what a difference this has been in the second half. The Cougars starting out a little bit slow. The quarter started out with a little bit of chaos, and eventually things started to turn. Some hustle plays from the Cougars translated on the offensive end, and that was somewhere that they struggled early in the game. They would get some good things going on the defensive end, but just couldn't find a way to put the ball through the net on the offensive end. And suddenly here in the second half, we're seeing those things happen. We're seeing great defensive efforts turning into offensive momentum. A big-time steal from the Cougars that just led to quick offense, and it's really making a difference here. 5-point lead for Anderson. CUC 9 fast break points compared to Anderson's 4. Both teams 7 steals so far in the game. Both teams 1 block so far. But a big difference here, and why Anderson has held the lead for as long as they have so far today. 22 points in the paint compared to CUC's 14. 14 bench points compared to CUC's 2. So Anderson inbounding the ball, full court pressure from CUC. Davis back over to Serrata. The look from Smith to Datra. A little too much juice and a little bit too high. Cougars trying to move quickly. Full court pressure now from Anderson. Yone Mera bringing the ball down, guarded by Smith. Yone Mera finding some space, a little pull-up, mid-range, no good. And into the hands of Yone Mera, poked out by Smith. Fresh 20 on the shot clock for the Cougars. Yone Mera inbounding. Finds King. Looks for the handoff. Takes the baseline. Has some space for 3. No good. Rebounded Datra. Serrata. High post look for Davis. She drives down. Can't get that one off. King with the rebound. Tough ball. Almost stripped away by Datra. Holiday coming down the floor quickly. She feeds it over to Jackson. Jackson thought about a 3. Drives it in. Loses the handles on it. Regains it. King over to Lopez. 15 on the shot clock. Yone Mera sees space. She takes it. Kicks back out. Jackson for 3. No good. Datra with the rebound. Jackson having a cold day from deep, but finding other ways to contribute as that ball almost stripped away Datra here, she's double teamed, going to work, up and no good. Rebound into the hands of Lopez. Head coach for the Ravens, John Jin, unhappy with a no call there. Head coach for the Ravens in his 5th season, as Yone Mera's jumper is good. 3-point lead for the Ravens. Full court pressure from the Cougars. Datra is going to be fouled by Lopez before that ball can go anywhere. Foul on before the ball was in motion, so they're going to give it on the baseline. Lopez's first foul. Southern checking in for King. Datra back over to Serrata. Smith, Davis, little floater in the paint, and it's good. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Yone Mera bringing the ball down the floor. Southern, over to Yone Mera, takes the screen, cuts back to her right, a mid-range jumper, no good, and goes straight out of bounds. The Cougars are saying that it was tipped. Emotions are getting high inside Geisman. The officials are talking. They're going to say that that ball was not tipped. 31.8 remaining in the quarter. Smith bringing the ball down the floor, full court pressure. Here's Serrata. Double teamed here in the corner. And Serrata, high IQ play, bounces that one right off of Yone Mera to avoid being forced out of bounds. Datra, a nice high look and is able to put that one in. Great play from the post player, keeping that ball nice and high so nobody can have any effect on it, as that one is stuffed by Datra but called for the foul. Nevaeh Jackson heading to the line. Anderson, an entire bench for Anderson, not happy about that one. It looks like her hands might have been completely on the ball, but contact coming from the body. So Jackson's first free throw is good. Nevaeh Jackson shooting just about 75% from the charity stripe, as she's able to put her first one in. Second free throw is good as well. Full court pressure from the Cougars. 2 seconds remaining. And Anderson's going to hold for the end of the quarter. With 10 more minutes to play, the Ravens lead the Cougars 39-34. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Final 10 minutes to play here in this New Year's Eve matchup. The Cougars inbounding first. Kira Holiday with the ball. Double team here on the wing. She's able to find Pedraza. Pedraza finds a wide open Southern. Lindley Southern for a short corner look. No good. Rebound into the hands of the Ravens. Cross-court pass to Pate. Kicks it back up to Serrata. Over to Davis. Davis finding some space. A little mid-range jumper. Back iron, no good. Southern with the rebound, and coming in quick was Larison. Pedraza coming down. Pulls it back out for the Cougars. Slows things down. Kira Holiday kick out to Southern. Back up to Jackson. Jackson kicks out to Holiday. Holiday looking for Southern, misses a little bit, but Southern recovers. Kulik has her hand at a three. She's been trying all day. Back iron this time, no good. Serrata with the rebound. High post look here for Larison. Kicks it back out, swings the ball over, looking to feed down low for Datra, and she's going to get the bucket and the foul. Southern ends up on the ground. I think a little inadvertent contact. Southern ended up on the ground, but causes the foul on Datra. So the basket is good, and Victoria Datra with a chance for a three-point play here. Free throw is good. Three-point play complete. Yone Mara bringing the ball down the floor. Little skip hop there. Kicks back out to Pedraza. Southern here finds King in the corner. Pedraza on the near side wing, back to King. King thought about a three. She had some luck at the end of the first half. Instead, feeds it back out to Yone Mara. Rejects the screen. 5 on the shot clock. Now King has to have her hand at a three. No good. Right into the hands of Pate. Serrata coming down the floor. Feeds it over to Davis. Back up top. Swings it over to Pate. High post look for Larison. Has that one tied up. And that's going to go with the Ravens. Shot clock reset, but it shouldn't have, so 16 on the shot clock. Davis takes the baseline drive, rejected by King. The kick out. Davis ends up with it. Little spin move into the paint, no good. And they're going to call Hannah Lopez for the foul. Lopez boxing out Datra. Coming into this quarter, Datra leading this game in fouls drawn. She drew 4 fouls in the first 3 quarters, obviously drawing another one there. As the look there for Datra is good through the contact. Victoria Datra. Earlier this season, Datra actually picked up HCAC Athlete of the Week after she put up 28 points and 18 rebounds against St. Mary's. And seeing that kind of athleticism coming out of her here today, the junior doing some great things for this squad, as that one misses high for Yone Mara. Lopez ends up with the rebound. King, high post look. The handoff to Yone Mara. She takes the screen from King. Elbow jumper, no good. Through some contact, but the rebound goes into the hands of Pate. Davis here on the near side wing. Davis once again. Skip pass across court to Pate. Back up top to Serrata. High post look for Larison. Kick back out. Great ball movement from Anderson. And the three for Davis. No good. And Lindley Southern able to draw the foul on Datra. And a timeout called by the Cougars. 6:38 remaining, a 10-point game. These two teams been going back and forth. Cougars able to cut that deficit down to 5 points at one point in the third quarter and now back up to 10 points. But these two teams just struggling a little bit. CUC, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, their first game back after Christmas. They have not played a game since they played Judson on December 17th. So a little bit of a rust buster here before they resume conference play. CUC taking on WLC on Saturday, a home doubleheader for the men and women's teams. But hoping to keep their win streak alive here today. As I said, Concordia won their last 3 contests. They're looking to extend out to a 4-game win streak. Last time CUC had a 4-game win streak was during the 22-23 season. So looking to hopefully extend that here today, but it's not going to be easy as it's been a back-and-forth battle. 6:38 remaining in this game, and Anderson showing no signs of slowing it down. On the flip side, Anderson played just yesterday against Illinois College, and we're seeing a lot of similar trends from yesterday's game to today's game. Datra was a force to be reckoned with yesterday as well. She put up 15 points and 12 rebounds against Illinois College, so picked up a double-double. On top of that, she had 4 blocks and 1 assist. So just an overall impact player for Anderson. But as play resumes, Yone Mara is bringing the ball down the floor, a little stutter step. Pedraza has her hand in a 3. You bet! A big-time 3 for Sophia Pedraza, needing to get some things going. It seems like the Cougars, when they're struggling to score, is when they're hottest from 3. Anderson now, here's Williamson. She's had her hand at a 3. No good front iron. Rebound poked away by Yone Mara. Yone Mara hanging back as this layup for King is good. And just like that, the Cougars find themselves on a bit of a run here. Full court pressure, and the backcourt violation once again. That is the second time today the Cougars have forced an over and back. Lauren Smith looks to get that pass, but just sent it backwards a little bit. A big-time defensive play for CUC. Those are the little impact things that you don't see too often, and when you can have those impact moments and a strong defense that can force that just a little bit, you trap in the corner, and then you rely on them needing to make a pass, and the only person they can find is coming from behind. It makes it a really, really difficult effort. But I believe the officials are going to take a look at something here. They're reviewing something, most likely having to do with that call. 44-39 in favor of Anderson. CUC trying to claw their way back into this. Yone Mara really coming to life when it is needed for the Cougars. In the first quarter, Yone Mara went scoreless, and now she's leading the Cougars with 14 points. So really shows what happens when you can get your leading players to find their groove a little bit. Yone Mara, she's been a star on this CUC team this season, freshman from Japan. She's leading the team in points per game. She's averaging 16.3. She's also leading the Cougars in steals with 27. And she's leading the Cougars in assists with 37. So she's just an all-around player. And when you can get her the ball and she can find her groove once again, that is where the Cougars are finding some of this success. On the defensive end, taking a look here, rebounds are being shared. Yone Mara, 7 rebounds herself, but Grace King, 5 rebounds. Abby Kulig, 5 rebounds. Lindley Southern, 4 rebounds. Abby Dykstra, 4 rebounds. So really sharing that effort on the defensive end has been a huge key in keeping the Cougars in this. And on the flip side, taking a look at Anderson, they've shared the wealth overall. Datra, leading the way, 13 points so far on the evening. 12 rebounds, so she's already picked up a double-double here. But when you look at the rest of the scoring for Anderson, Davis, 6 points. Smith, 4. Sirota, 4. Hendrickson, 5. It's been very well balanced across the rest of the board. So it does look like they're going to overturn this call. So they are overturning that call. So something that they saw in that replay showed that they were completely across the court before it. And when you look at it closely again, you do see that. So looks like the right call was made. So Anderson remaining with possession here. Full court pressure from CUC. Smith here, back up top. Corner look for Williamson, no good. Chalmers with the rebound. Pedraza coming down the floor quickly. Jackson finds Chalmers, who is gonna take a couple turns too quickly. I don't think Jocelyn Chalmers was expecting that ball to be fed, so took a little bit of a off-balance turn and the turnover, so sending things right back to Anderson. 5:15 remaining in this game. Smith on the near side here. Back up to Serrata. Corner look for Smith. She pulls for 3. In and out, no good. Offensive board to Larison, who's able to put it up and in for 2. Chalmers boxing out, but lets that ball drop to the floor. No other Cougar in sight on that near side. As Pedraza's little floater up and in! But they're going to call the offensive foul. Kylie Hendrickson setting herself and taking the charge. A hard hit there, but they're going to call the offensive foul. And we were talking about it for the Cougars a little bit, how much those impact moments can change things. You know, when you get that over and back call, it really sparks things up, and an offensive foul is exactly that. When a player can draw the offensive charge, especially when that basket ends up being made, it really alters that momentum a little bit and changes things. I do believe head coach of the Cougars, Coach Lauren Martin, asked for a review on this play. So taking a look here as Sophia Pedraza cuts in. Hendrickson gets herself set, but they're going to look really closely at whether or not her feet were still moving. It's going to be a little bit tough to tell. The officials have the ability to slow the replay down and look frame by frame to take a look. As you see, once again, Pedraza cutting in. And the contact made, Hendrickson, keeps her hands high. So the contact's coming from the hips and below. They're really going to be looking at whether or not her feet were still moving. There is no denying that there was no contact from the upper hand. So it's really going to come down to whether or not her feet were moving. As we slow things down a little bit here, it's hard to tell, but we'll see what the officials say. They're still reviewing down below. In order for this call to be overturned, they have to be 100% certain and be able to tell with complete confidence whether or not the call can be overturned, as they're going to be looking closely at her feet. But a long review here, all officials conferring. 4:46 remaining in this game. As I believe the call is going to stand. So offensive foul on Sophia Pedraza sends things back down the other direction for the Ravens. Smith here, back up to Serrata, over to Smith. High post look for Larison. Corner look Lauren Smith's three, no good. Batted around into the hands of Sophia Pedraza. Pedraza feeds it far ahead for King. King cutting inside. Kicks it up top to Pedraza. Pedraza finds some space back over. A little short corner look for King, no good. King gets her own rebound up, but they're going to call King for the offensive foul. Looks like King might have just pulled the chair out from underneath and got called for the foul on it. As that goes up, little contact on the upper hand, on the shoulder from King is where she's going to get called for that. Under 4 to play here. The look for Williamson. Back iron, no good. And that's going to stay with the Ravens. Yone Mera and Smith going up for it. Smith here. Up top to Serrata. High post look for Hendrickson. Kicks back out to Smith. Skip pass all the way across, back up top here. Good ball movement from the Ravens. Finding some space up and in. Can't get the shot to fall. King with the rebound. Holiday pitches ahead to Yone Mera, who's able to find the up and in. Good defense from Williamson. She was tracking Yone Mera the whole time, but with no eyesight on the ball. She did not see where that ball was coming from and had no chance at being able to break it up. As going basically coast to coast was Lauren Smith and untouched by any Cougar defender. Holiday here. Cuts back to her left, driving in, kicks it back out. Jackson now driving in, loses the handles for a second, able to recover it. Finds Pedraza cutting in. Pedraza off the back iron, no good. But they're going to get a foul call here against Nevaeh Jackson. Jackson came in hot, swatting at that ball. So in the bonus now, that's going to give some free throws to the Ravens. Nevaeh Jackson's fourth foul here. Substitutions coming in as Davis checks back in. First free throw up and good for Larison. She's shooting just about 60% on the season. 12 for 20 from the charity stripe coming into today's match. As that one misses off front iron, rebound into the hands of Holiday. Holiday guarded by Davis, engaging in some contact there. Finds the look for Pedraza. Pedraza for three. Bingo, bango, bongo. Sophia Pedraza. 49-44 in favor of the Ravens, but as I said earlier, the Cougars, they get hot from three when needed. Now Pedraza, she's able to poke that one away. Over to Yone Mera, up and in for two. Defense to offense, and the Cougars bring this within three. Corner look here, finds some space. High post look for Davis, kicks it back out to Serrata. 2:10 to play in the game. Opposite look, Davis has some space. She takes the baseline drive and goes untouched, but misses the layup. Grace King with the rebound. Holiday coming down the floor, slows things down. Grace King looks for the backdoor cut, but it heavily guarded by the Ravens, so Grace King has to go it herself. High off the glass and in! Grace King sees some space and takes it for herself. A 1-point game, under 2 minutes to play. As that ball is turned over, Yone Mera able to collect it. She goes down and loses it. Yone Mera just can't get a hold of it, but a great hustle play there from the freshman. .134 to play. CUC down by 1. Officials coming over to talk to the table. So while these two teams take a quick break to figure out what's happening, we're going to take one as well. Don't go anywhere on the Cougar Sports Network. Back underway here inside at Geisman Gymnasium, a minute 34 to play. Just a quick stoppage to take a look at the shot clock and figure out where things needed to be at after that almost turnover recovery from the Ravens. So they have an opportunity here as Pate pulls for three, and she gets it! Ashley Pate picking up a clutch three as Holiday inbounds the ball to an unlooking Yone Mara, turns it over, basket up and no good for Larison, so the Cougars able to recover. Some miscommunication from CUC there. Tight defense as we near 1 minute. A tie-up. Two officials calling different things. The baseline official was ready to call an offensive foul, but the official on the far side of the floor calls the block. One minute and 1 second remaining in this game. 4-point lead for the Ravens. If this call is a defensive foul, it should send Nevaeh Jackson to the free throw line for two. I stand corrected. They're going to call this foul on the floor. Officials talking with head coach of Anderson, John Jin. As I was saying earlier, he's in his 5th season as the head coach for the Ravens. In those 5 seasons, the Ravens made it to their conference tournament. Every single one of them. So a successful coach for Anderson. The officials and Coach Jin still referring back and forth at one another. All 3 officials now coming over. Coach Lauren Martin of the Cougars just trying to get her team to stay focused and stay energetic. 1 minute and 1 second remaining. All 3 officials now talking with the head coach for Anderson. I believe Coach Jin pleading his case as to why that should not be 2 free throws. Head coach of the Cougars, Lauren Martin, joining the fun with the officials now. All 3 officials and both head coaches now discussing where this foul should be at. We've seen a lot of long discussions today. The officials wanting to get things done correctly, the coaches trying to understand, as Coach Jin now asking the table how many timeouts he has left, I believe. Replay monitor has turned around, so they are taking a look at it. The officials still discussing things with Coach Jin. The officials today, we've had these crews, this entire officiating crew in here before, I believe, as they are once again taking a look. The officials today, Brianna Madrazo, Jazz Zahirovic, and Duran Stewart. As now they are once again reviewing. I believe they're going to see if this is going to be on the floor or a shooting foul. As Jackson driving in, looks like she was in the process of potentially getting her shot up, but from this angle it's a little bit difficult to see, as they need to be able to clearly see to overturn the call, and I believe the call was on the floor. And from the angle that you're seeing there, it's the exact angle that the officials are looking at, so it's hard to tell whether or not she was in motion, and that's going to determine whether or not she will be shooting free throws. As both teams have returned to the court, officials still in front of the scorer's table discussing, both head coaches nearby. So 2 free throws for Nevaeh Jackson. So the challenge coming from Coach Jin, unsuccessful. And that's going to put Jackson at the line for 2 free throws. She's 2 for 2 so far today. Make that 3 for 3. Jackson shooting just about 75% from the free throw line this season. As her second free throw is good as well. So the Cougars trail by 2 with now officially under a minute to play. Pate here back over to Davis. Davis finds Larison, the kick out. Anderson trying to waste as much time off the clock as they can. Larison here kicks back over. Pate up top. Back to Pate. She's going to pull for 3. It's good! Ashley Pate potentially throwing the dagger down for the Ravens. Extends this out to a 5-point lead. Cougars call a timeout. 39 seconds remaining in the game. The game of basketball is a fun one because even at a 5-point deficit, this game is far from over. Both teams having timeouts remaining. A full timeout called here and a big time 3 from the Ravens. Oh my goodness. CUC having the chance to advance the ball after this timeout call. 39 seconds to go, so a 9-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. The biggest key here for the Cougars is to score and to score quickly. Being able to preserve as much of the shot clock as they possibly can. If they can score within the first 9 seconds and force the Ravens to have possession with the shot clock and the game clock still having a little bit of a difference, it's going to be a huge key for them. Meanwhile, the Ravens, they're just trying to play clean defense. Let them score and then take the ball back and do whatever you can with it. Avoid the fouls. But playing defense is the key here. The Ravens have a few fouls to give. The Cougars do not. So as we enter the final 39 seconds of today's final game of 2025, it has been a thriller. Thank you so much for joining us on the Cougar Sports Network. We appreciate you spending your New Year's Eve with us before we ring in the new year very soon. Both teams hoping to ring in the new year with sweet victory in their mouths. So the sideline inbound here for CUC. Kira Holiday inbounding. Jackson, Pedraza, King, and Yone Mera on the floor for the Cougars. Holiday able to find Yone Mera. She's able to get a quick shot off. No good back iron, but it did force the Ravens to have to put a shot up before the shot clock expires, as that one is intercepted by Jackson. Shot clock officially off, 25 seconds to play. Cougars get a big time steal, a little stutter step. Jackson up and in for two! 55-52 as a quick foul is called, and that's going to send, I believe, Bella Larison to the free throw line, but a big time steal and score from the freshman. 20.9 seconds remaining in this game. Larison at the free throw line. She's 1 for 2 from the charity stripe today. As she misses her first free throw, Bella Larison shooting just about 60% from the charity stripe this season. Heading into today, she was 12 for 20 as she looks to sink her second free throw and make this a 2-possession game. Free throw number 2 is good, and the Ravens go up by 4. Cougars call a timeout once again, advancing the ball and eating up their final timeout of the day. These two teams not making it certain for anyone. The Ravens holding the lead the majority of today's game. Cougars scored first and held the lead for just about a minute, but other than that, it's been the Ravens the rest of the way. But CUC cutting things down, making this a 1-point game, a 2-point game, all the way down to the final minute. CUC struggled early in the game, came out fairly cold. Yone Mera, the leading scorer for CUC so far, 18 points, but she didn't score at all in the first quarter. So really that is making such a difference here. When you look at the rest of the statistics, everything is fairly matched. The Cougars 20 for 64 from the field, shooting just about 31%, but the Ravens not far behind, 23 for 68, shooting just about 34%. So both teams really struggling here, but finding a way to keep things matched up. So off the timeout, Coach Martin discussing things with the officials, but a near side inbound here. Jackson inbounding for the Cougars, 20.9 seconds remaining. Yone Mera gets the high screen. Kicks it back to Abby Dykstra. Dykstra's three, in and out, no good. Rebound goes into the hands of the Ravens. 10 seconds on the clock, and King is going to foul. Abby Dykstra had that one almost all the way down, but it just circled the entire rim and popped right back out. A great look for the junior. But I believe that is Grace King's 5th foul. So King fouling out of today's contest. As King waiting for a sub. Coach Martin discussing the game plan, not quite realizing what was going on. So a great game for Grace King. Final stat line for the sophomore, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. 1 for 2 from deep. She had a big-time 3 to end the first half. So Davis at the charity stripe. She puts this first one off back iron. Davis shooting her first free throws here today. No good thus far. Shooting just about 76% on the season. Kira Holiday, Nevaeh Jackson, and Yone Mera, the only Cougars there. Full court pressure from Davis. Yone Mera feeds it over to Jackson. 3 on the shot clock. Jackson's basket up and no good. And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. A thriller down to the final, realistically, 40 seconds of this, as Anderson takes the 57-52 win. But the officials are whistling here. Both teams lined up and they're shaking hands, but the officials whistling. I think there might have been a foul that was called, but they ask the head coach for the Ravens for a thumbs up. He gives it to him. So the game will end there. A big-time fight out of these two teams. Taking a look at the final stat line. As I mentioned, Ione Mare leading the way for CUC, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Following behind her was Grace King, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. On the flip side for Anderson, the big scorer was Datra, 13 points, 12 rebounds, so picking up a double-double here, her second consecutive double-double. Following behind her was Pate, 8 points, 4 rebounds. She was 2 for 6 from deep. And following behind her was Davis, 7 points, 3 rebounds. Serrata picking up 4 points and 8 rebounds on the day, but this really came down to the first quarter. These two teams fairly evenly matched through the rest of the game, but Anderson outscoring the Cougars 12-4 in the first quarter. CUC fairly cold to start this game, and ultimately that served as their final defeat and really put the dagger in this one. But that is going to do it for today's broadcast and for the final game of 2025. CUC will be back in action on Saturday as they resume conference play. They're going to be taking on Wisconsin Lutheran College right here inside Geisman Gymnasium. Tip-off is slated for 1 p.m. Men's team will play following that game, so we'll have a doubleheader for you. But before we sign off, I want to give a huge shout-out to everybody that made today's production possible. Operating our scores table today, shot clock was Stephen Burke. Our scoreboard operator was Elliot Higgins. Score book for us was Danielle Burke, and our in-stadium PA is the Concordia Hall of Famer Jim Egan. Operating stats for us today was the Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, Corey Welch, and spotting stats for her was Dave Daimling. Our camera operators today, Eric Perry and Jack Linko. Running today's production, making it look as beautiful as always, was the Graduate Assistant for Athletic Communications, Sydney Lloyd. My name's Kayla McLeod, the Director of Athletic Communications. Thank you so much for spending New Year's Eve with us. Though the Cougars weren't able to pull the win to end the year, they're going to pull the win as needed. But that's all for now. We'll see you on Saturday on the Cougar Sports Network.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.